From your perspectives, assuming that the best organizations collaborate the best, what is your understanding, what's your individual understandings of what the IT functional role is in enabling that?
IT needs to speak the language of the business. So, if you understand the strategy of the business and the capabilities that bring that strategy to life, and the technology then that enables those capabilities, and you walk in and you lead with the conversation about business capabilities first, technology second, you're leaning into the conversation with the business community, CFO, CMO, COO, CXO. And I think that lays a framework and foundation for they understand our world and seek to improve it by this, that, or the other from a technology perspective.
Also, you have to be one of the proponent of change. Bring the changes to the end user, bring the changes to the business leaders, and say, hey, here's what we have to help you pull your business piece forward. Outside of that, you're relying on them to piecemeal things, and sometimes that doesn't really work. You end up spending more money, whereas you could actually be that change of enablement to bring new technologies and bring new processes in.
The analogies or metaphors that we've used is they can have all the trains that they want, but we provide them the rails. So we also have to orchestrate how each train courses through whatever destination, through the rails that we provide the business. So that collaboration, I think, has been very instrumental in getting us to where we were at. But we're also cognizant around what got us to where we are now as the largest bank in the Philippines is not going to take us to where we want to be in the next, because we want to also transform, or sorry for using the word, but we have to change. We continue on that journey of being better and better and better.
We have a policy, work anywhere as long as your manager can support it and you can do your job. So that leaves us with associates all around the world, and helping them to have the tools or the ability to collaborate is completely different. And, it's not even just a partnership. I mean, that's just table stakes, agree with everything said, but just helping other parts of the business. We might have a product development team, or we have a very large ERP, and we're talking about hundreds of people that need to work together, but not being in the same physical location. And so this is where I think the hybrid meeting space and how do people work together. Have you guys ever been in one of those meetings where you're like outside trying to raise your hand to get attention with 10 people in the room, and they've got the presentation and they take the space? I feel like there's an opportunity for us to think about like inclusive behaviors, or how do we facilitate meetings differently? How do we make sure that we have the right home and meeting experiences within the office so that people can still be effective?
I push my team to always ask, what is the problem we're trying to solve? Because when I get really nervous when our internal customers come in and they say, here's the thing I want you to do. I want to understand what we're trying to solve, and we can advise and we can consult on the 10 different ways that can happen. And what's important for right now, given the environment. Is it cost? Is it time? Whatever those options are that we're trying to work within, and making sure that our technologists are part of those conversations and at the table when decisions are made on how something actually gets approached.
From a security perspective, I always try to make it a business decision. It's a balance between productivity and security. And at the end of the day, that's about how much risk we want to assume. And so I try to go about that in a partnership way to have those conversations. From a data perspective, similar. I think speed is a challenge in that.
What I encouraged our team on the data side, when we have those communication and conversations with the business community, with the business architecture layer or placemat, if you will, is let's talk so much about data with our business stakeholders. Let's talk about information and knowledge, because in the perfect world, your data is producing information that produces knowledge, that produces wisdom, which is a lot of the automation that we're seeing today with Gen AI experimentation is getting to that wisdom, nirvana place faster. And I think that contributed to our ability to move the needle. To your point about, tell me what the why is, tell me what the what is, and the way we defined what was capabilities. We'll help you, or we'll come back to you with ideas on the how, and we'll talk about what the timing of the delivery of how will be in order to move the needle on the maturity of the what.
For me, one of the challenges that we've had was the fact that multi-generational presence in the organization has either been who injects a change, who wants to change, and where do they want to lead their business to. So as part of IT, it's always, you guys want, I mean, talking to the business, if you want this result and you want to get to that endpoint, and we tell you how to get to that point, you have to have the ability to adopt or adapt to whatever technology that's available. But then there's this restriction, or there's this resistance, because they view it as, we want to do things the way we've always been doing it. Just give us a tech to allow us to do the same thing. But then modernization doesn't do it that way. Modernization is literally allowing you to, I guess I'll use the same word, reimagining how to get to the same destination, just rerouting it. Maybe we build a new highway, maybe we build a new subway or whatever. You can't take the same horse and buggy to the same destination.
I think managing expectations. There's a lot of demands, particularly now. You turn around, there's a new law. It's a new regulation. It's something else. It's an update to a framework. There are demands from the board. There are demands from your C-suite. There's demands from your end user population to make things easier, to make things a little more transparent, a little easier, frictionless, if you will. The security side. So within our teams, realizing that there's always going to be several, if not hundreds of priority ones. You know, what are the most important ones, not just for business, because obviously business needs to make money for us to have jobs, but also for us to maintain our humanity, if you will. You can't work 60 hours a week for a month straight, with the exception of COVID. You know, but there are things that you need to be able to translate from our priority list that go down to your teams and also to the business side. And make sure that, again, you have an open lines of communication to set expectations correctly.